So I will start our lesson today. So in the last class, yesterday I have posted this one. So we have discussed about two things: uh, electric flux and flux density. So what was flux? Flux. If you have a charged sphere here, and if you put an isolation or an insulating material between another metallic sphere outside, and momentarily discharge this one so that it will charge this, the opposite charge what is stored here will be discharged. And if you observe or measure the charge of this and outer sphere, it is observed that if this is plus q, the outer sphere will have a minus q charge. So something is flowing from the inner sphere to the outer sphere through the insulating material. So that is actually called a displacement flux or displacement electric flux. Okay, so something which flows from the inner to outer is called a displacement flux or electric flux. So that is represented as a psi, and psi is proportional to, if you keep a more charge, the more flow will be there. So psi is proportional to q, and experimentally the value of psi is equal to q. There is no, the constant is 1, and the dimension of psi is coulomb itself. So that is what we have discussed about electric flux. And we have also discussed about something called electric flux density. So that is d. So d is given as q by um, area. So for a sphere it was 4 pi r square, and it was a vector. The flux density is a vector having a dimension ar cap. Okay, so that is what we have discussed. D is equal to 4 q by 4 pi r square ar cap. So starting with the today, we will and we have also derived a relation, since the D is equal to q by 4 pi r square ar cap, and E is equal to q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square ar cap. You have a direct relation here. E is equal to D is equal to, there is no epsilon term, so I have to multiply epsilon and bring an epsilon here. So epsilon into, now this becomes a E. So epsilon times epsilon 0 times E. D is equal to epsilon 0 times E is the expression for E. Right. So this is what we have discussed in the last class. So today we will go for a new topic called Gauss's law. Gauss law. So I have studied this in your PU, I think in PU physics. So what is Gauss's law? Now in Faraday's experiment, what he observed is that if you have a sphere, inner sphere, with the charge plus q, and there will be flux moving outward from the plus q charge. Flux is moving outward, right? So this flux, if you keep any imaginary sphere which covers the inner sphere here, entire flux will be passing through this one, right? So I can say that psi is equal to q. Okay. Now, since we have discussed this as d is equal to q by 4 pi r square ar cap, or the magnitude of d is q by 4 pi r square, and q is equal to d into area, right? So d multiplied with the area, since they are in the same direction now. Okay. But what if you keep a charge other than a sphere? If you keep any other material, if you keep irregular shaped object, how it will be, how the flux lines will be. Flux lines will be always outward from the surface. So it will be like this. Here it will be like this. Here it will be like this. Here it is like this. Here it is. They won't cross each other, but they will bend and move. They won't touch each other. Okay. Here it is like this, outwards. So for this irregular shape also, if you enclose this with the uh, spherical shape, and if you observe or count the number of fluxes passing through this one, since here more denser, in this region you can see more density is there, so more fluxes will be passing through this. Here it is less denser, so less number of fluxes will be passing here. Here it will be somewhat moderate. But if you add all the fluxes in the enclosed surface, so sum of all the fluxes will be how much? What is the total flux here? As we discussed here, the total flux is due to the charge Q. So psi is equal to Q. So here also, if for this irregular shape also, the flux density may differ in some or other region. So here flux density. Density means what? How close they are kept, right? Here it is more closer, so more denser. Here it is less denser. There is more, very less density is very. But if you add all those fluxes, it is due to the charge Q only, right? So I can say that the psi is equal to Q. So this is the this lets Gauss to create a law saying that the electric flux passing through any closed surface, the electric flux passing through any closed surface is equal to the charge enclosed by it. So according to Gauss law, this shape which we have to enclose need not to be a sphere. It can be of any shape, but if it completely encloses that charge, then the electric flux passing through, total electric flux passing through that surface will be equal to charge enclosed by that. Okay, so that is what Gauss's law says. Is this clear? Any doubts in this one? If you chat, I can't see because I have already shared and I cannot join with any other devices since 100 limit is there. Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Anybody?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So this is Gauss's law. Just note down that law that the electric flux passing through any closed surface equal to the charge enclosed by it. That is the statement. So now consider an irregular shape and you have kept 5 coulombs and 3 coulombs. What is the total flux according to Gauss's law? Total flux passing through this surface. How much it will be?
8 coulomb.
8 coulomb, yes. If you have kept a minus 5 coulomb instead of 3 coulomb, you have to add the total charge plus 5 coulomb minus 5 coulomb, that will be 0 coulomb. So 0 charge is there, so the flux will be, yeah, very good, 0. So this is what Gauss's laws interpretation. Now we'll see some examples, real life examples where Gauss's law is applied. But before that, we'll derive a expression for flux using the D. In the case of sphere, it was easy because the direction of the area and the direction of the D vector are same. area vector as well as the d vector are same, but some cases will be there where the direction of area and the direction of d won't be same. So consider there is some amount of charge is kept or system of charges are there. Totally it makes a charge amount q, and you are enclosing it by a shape like this. Okay, it need not to be uh, perfectly like this, right? Now if I am considering a surface element in this one, a piece of surface here, I will call this area is delta s. Now what is the direction of area? If you have a shape like this, what is the direction of area vector? It is always perpendicular to that, right? That surface. So similarly, the area vector will be perpendicular like this. Now, what is the direction of flux or flux density? Flux density will be along the flux line, right? So flux line will be coming like this. So this is how the flux comes to the surface. So this will be the direction of flux. That is, then the flux density will have the same direction, d. So this is d. This is delta s. Okay. Now, in the delta S area, as the delta S tends to 0, or we have to make it delta S tends to 0 or ds, what will be the component of d passing through delta S? That is nothing but the projection of d over delta S, right? Since dE and delta S are not in the same direction, if you want to find the product of this one, flux passing through, so I can write flux passing through delta S. So we know that density is given, area is given. So we know that density is equal to flux by area, right? Flux divided by area. Now what is flux from this one? Flux is equal to density into area. So you know that delta S is the area. Area is delta S. Density is vector D. This is the vector delta S. Now, so what is flux passing through delta S? Density multiplied with the area. So what is density D? And this is delta S. So we know that we cannot directly multiply two vectors, right? So if you want, you have to multiply the components. So you have to take the component of D over delta S. So if the angle is theta, I can say that the component of D or the component perpendicular to area, I can call it as D normal. D normal is equal to D cos theta, right? If you split like this, D parallel and D normal will be D cos theta, mod D cos theta. And delta S is delta S itself. So the magnitude of delta S delta S. So flux is equal to mod D normal into delta mod of delta S, which is nothing but D. So not D normal, not mod D cos theta into delta S, or vector D dot delta S, vector delta S, correct? You know that a b cos theta is a dot b. So here it is a b cos theta. So we can say that d dot delta s, right? So this is not the flux entire shape. It's just flux passing through. So I can write a delta flux. Why? Because it is only the flux passing through this area, not the entire area, right? So if you make this area smaller and smaller, what happens? Delta as delta S tends to 0, delta S becomes ds, right? So delta flux is equal to d dot delta S, vector d dot vector delta S now changes to d flux, or d psi is equal to d dot delta s or d dot ds, right? Or psi is equal to, what you have to do, integral d dot ds. So what kind of integral is this one? Is this line integral, surface integral, or volume integral? Can anybody?
Closed surface integral.
This is a surface integral because we have ds is there. ds means it may be area of the small area, right? So you have to integrate over the entire surface. That is why it is a surface integral. Surface integral is a double integral, triple integral, or single integral. We studied about volume integral, right? It was a triple integral. You have a dv here, and we have studied about the dl also, that rho l dl if you are doing, right? Only single integral. Now this is a surface integral. This will be double integral of d dot ds. So this is psi. So we know that according to Gauss's law, psi is nothing but q. So I can say that q enclosed is equal to double integral d dot ds. Okay. So this is the state or mathematical statement of Gauss's law. Just note down this. Q enclosed is equal to double integral d dot ds. Okay, now we'll see how it comes in the case of, or can we prove Gauss's law using a sphere? Because for the sphere we can find the area easily, right? So consider there is a charge inside this one with the value q, and you enclosed this with the sphere of radius r, right? And you know that due to charge q, there will be an electric field. So what is the expression of electric field? E is equal to, what case is this one? Point charge or line charge or sheet charge? Which case is this one? Point, line, or sheet? I want your response because I should know whether you are following or not. Anybody? You kept a single charge here, q. So what is this? Point, line, or sheet?
Point charge.
Yeah, point charge. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Now, if point charge is there, what is the expression of E at a distance r? Q divided by 4 pi r square ar cap, right? Q divided by 4 pi r square, 4 pi epsilon 0 r square ar cap. And D is what then? So we know that D is equal to epsilon times E. So if you substitute here, so D is equal to Q by epsilon 0 into Q by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square ar cap. Epsilon cancel. So Q by 4 pi r square ar cap. Okay. Now we got D. So what is our expression? Q enclosed is equal to double integral d dot ds. So if you do this d dot ds, I should get q as the value. Then I can prove that the Gauss's law is correct, right? So I got the expression for d. That is I know now. Now I want the expression for ds in a spherical coordinate system. So what was the ds for a surface? If you remember, once we have discussed this one for a if these are x, y, z, if you consider a part of sphere like this, and if you take a small element in the sphere like this, okay, this is the angle theta, right? And this angle is d theta. So this length is r, this length is r. So this small length is r d theta, right? Now I want this length also, because length into breadth is the area, right? So I have to project this one. So, right, this angle is actually d phi, because this angle is phi, so this small element is d phi, and this length is r cos theta, sorry, r sin theta. Rho is equal to r sin theta, that is what we have studied. So radius is r sin theta, angle is d phi, so I can say that into r sin theta d phi. So if you multiply, ds is equal to r square sin theta d theta d phi, right? ds is equal to r square sin theta d theta d phi. Now substitute this one in the previous expression. So d dot ds is what we have to find. So we got d is equal to q by 4 pi r square ar cap, and ds is equal to r square sin theta d theta d phi. Okay. So what we have to do? You have to evaluate the double integral d dot ds is equal to double integral over d dot ds is the direction is ar cap, right? Here if you say the direction is outward, it is in the direction of ar cap. So here I have to mention ar cap. So I have to find the dot product between q by 4 pi r square ar cap dot r square sin theta d theta d phi ar cap. Ar dot ar is 1, so whatever left is q by 4 pi r square into r square sin theta d theta d phi. So the variable for integration is theta and phi. So I want what is the limit for theta and what is the limit for phi. Okay. Can you complete this integration once? Okay, I will check the chat box. Can you find first? Tell me what is the theta and limit for theta and phi. As a limit for theta and phi for an entire sphere. Theta is not 0 to 360, Kushi. We have checked. What is the limit for theta? Gagan, 0 to pi for what? Theta. Yeah, okay, correct. Then for theta, phi, yes, theta is 0 to 2 pi. Yes, correct, correct. So I have to integrate theta is equal to 0 to pi and phi is equal to 0 to 2 pi. Right. So if anyone has any query here, theta starts from plus z-axis and ends at minus z-axis, whereas phi starts from the plus x-axis and completes one rotation and comes back to the x-axis. So that takes a 360-degree. This takes a 180-degree. So 0 to pi and 0 to 2 pi. Okay. Now can you integrate and find what? So since d theta and d phi are the variable, I can consider r square as a constant and I can cancel them. So whatever left is q by 4 pi. So you have to first integrate with respect to 0 to pi. To pi I will keep with respect to theta, that will be sine theta d theta. You have to integrate first 0 to pi, and d phi you have to do separately. So do this integration and find what is the value. Yes, you should get q, right? So now if you integrate, that will be q by 4 pi. So 0 to 0 to pi sine theta is minus cos theta with the limit 0 to pi, which will be 2, right? Cos pi is uh, minus 1 and cos 0 is 1. So that will become 2. So 2 q by pi will cancel. Now integration is will be q by pi 2 pi into integral 0 to 2 pi d phi. So integral d phi is phi with the limit 0 to 2 pi will be 2 pi. So q by 2 pi into 2 pi will get cancelled. You will get the value as q, right? So that's how you prove that Gauss's law. This applies. This is an application of Gauss's law, or you can show that uh, the total flux passing through this surface is equal to, that is d dot ds is equal to q, right? Okay. Now we'll do a problem. Given the electric flux density d is equal to 0.3 r square ar cap nano coulomb per meter square in free space. Find electric field intensity at a point P r equal to 2, theta equal to 25 degree, phi equal to 90 degree. The question A. Question B is total charge within the sphere within the sphere r equal to 3 meter. Okay, can you do this? The first one. First is the direct expression d is equal to epsilon times E. So from that one, what is E? Then you have to substitute the parameters. Can you calculate? How to find E? E is equal to d by epsilon. So that will be 0.3 r square ar cap divided by epsilon 0. And to substitute, substitute the parameter of t. R equal to 2, theta equal to 25 degree, phi equal to 90 degree. So what is the value of epsilon 0? Approximate value 1 by 36 pi into 10 raised to minus 9, right? So that will bring this 36 pi into 0.3 r square into 10 raised to 9. Since we have, it was question, it is nano coulomb, so you have to introduce the 10 raised to minus 9. So this much Newton per coulomb is a unit for electric field intensity. So as the value got? Anybody got the value? Is anybody completed? Okay, this is the expression for E. We have to find it at a point P, r equal to 2, theta equal to 25 degree, phi is equal to 90 degree. So what value I have to substitute here? What is the parameter I have here in this one? Do we have theta in the expression of E?
No.
Okay, do we have phi?
No.
Only r is there. So this is dependent on only r. It is independent of theta and phi, right? This expression is independent of theta. So whatever may be the value of theta or phi, it will remain same, only it affects or changes with the r. So you have to substitute only r equal to 2. So that will be 36 pi into 0.3 into 4. Okay, calculate how much it becomes.
135.71.
135.71.
71.
That much Newton per Coulomb. Remember, this is electric field intensity. So electric field intensity unit is Newton per Coulomb. Okay, so that is correct. Now calculate the total charge within the sphere r equal to 3 meter. Second question. So D is 0.3 r square ar cap nano coulomb per meter square. And this is a sphere, right? So what is ds? ds is equal to r square sin theta d theta d phi, and total charge q is equal to double integral d dot ds. So that will be double integral 0.3 r square ar cap dot r square sin theta d theta d phi ar cap. So ar cap dot ar cap is 1. So double integral 0.3 r raised to 4 sin theta d theta d phi. So whichever constant is outside, you can take it outside. So 0.3 r raised to 4 is how much? The limits are what? Sin theta d theta d phi. So just now we discussed this one, right? D theta is theta equal to 0 to pi, and for d phi it is 0 to 2 pi. So integrate and find the value. Yes, 305.36 nano coulomb. Correct answer. Okay, so this can be done otherwise also, since this is a sphere. You know that the d is this much. So total flux is equal to total density into area, right? So total density is 0.3 r square is the magnitude into area. Area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. So if you multiply, it will be 4 pi into 0.3 r raised to 4. So you will get the same expression. But this is Since it is not dependent on our theta and phi, if there is a term of theta or phi is there in this one, you cannot apply this method. You have to go for the integration itself. Is that clear? Okay. This simplifies the expression, but only when it is independent of this d is independent of the theta and phi, because our integration is with respect to theta and phi. Correct. Okay. Now, we will derive expression for d for a line charge density. So, using Gauss's law, we will show that this is easier method compared to the last. We have derived that electric field intensity due to a line charge is rho L by 2 pi epsilon 0 rho aero cap, right? So from this one we can get the d is equal to rho L by 2 pi rho aero cap. So this we will get, but deriving this is a longest procedure. We have to take a dz element, you have to calculate the theta component and all. But using Gauss's law, we will derive the same. We will derive d, then from d we can derive e. So we will consider a line charge with the line charge density rho L, and we will enclose this line charge with the, since line charge is there, the best method to enclose is a cylinder, right? So we'll enclose it with the cylinder of radius rho, and the length of the cylinder, let it be S L, right? Now we know that according to Gauss's law, Q is equal to double integral d dot ds, right? So we have to find the total area. So you have to multiply with all the components. So total Q enclosed. So Q enclosed is from this region to this region. So this is the region. Here, what is the total charge? So we know that the charge density rho L is equal to charge by length. So charge is equal to rho L into L. So I can write here rho L into L is equal to. Now, surface integral is, you have to close the surface integral. So you have to put a this expression is actually closed surface integral d dot ds. Okay, this is very important. So just change in your notes that here we have mentioned mathematical expression for Q enclosed is Q enclosed is equal to closed surface integral d dot ds. This is the expression. Just a change in your note. This closed integral is very important. Okay. So I have to find the closed integral. So I have to integrate in the curved surface. I have to integrate in the what? Here. Up top surface as well as bottom surface, right? So here the electric field intensity will be d rho, right? Due to charge, the electric field intensity will be d rho. And here, is there any electric field intensity in the direction of area? Because we are finding the dot product between d and ds, right? Right. So this closed integral I can write as a sum of curved plus top plus bottom. That is what I have to integrate over the entire closed cylinder. So I have to integrate over the curved surface. I have to integrate over the bottom surface. I have to integrate over the top surface. But we know that the charge is here in the line, right? So charge is along this line, and the flux will be moving radially outward, right? It is always moving radially outward. It will not move in the direction of line. It is always moving radially in the direction of radius outward. So here it is d rho only, but here the surface and this surface vector as well as this vector are in the same direction, but here how much it is? In the top surface, the density is in this direction, whereas the surface vector is perpendicular to that. So the dot product will become 0 on the top. Here also the flux is moving radially outward. The surface vector is perpendicular to that, so the angle between them is 90 degrees, so the dot product will become 0. So from the top surface, bottom surface, the d dot ds will be 0. So only we have to integrate in the curved surface. Okay, so we'll integrate that. So rho L is equal to double integral d dot ds. Okay, and we know that d is d rho a rho cap because it is only radially outside dot. So I should know what is the ds in a cylindrical curved surface, right? So you know that this is d phi, this radius is rho, so this length will be rho d phi, and this height is dz. So it will be rho d phi dz. So rho d phi dz aero cap. It is in radially outward the area vector. So that will be double integral aero cap dot aero cap is 1 d rho into rho d phi dz. So what is the limit for d phi and dz? Can anybody tell me in this diagram? If this is 0, the total length is L, so L, and another one is phi. Can anybody tell me what is the limits for d rho and dz? Sorry, d phi and dz, phi and z. Here, what is the total limit for phi and what is the limit for z? Z is equal to 0 to L, correct? For phi, zero to 2 pi. Okay, very good, Sanket. So, Kirtan and Sanket. So here, if you integrate, d rho and rho are constants which are not in d phi and z. So I can take it outside. So integral 0 to 2 pi, and this is 0 to L. Rho L into L is equal to d phi dz. So can integrate? D rho, so 0 to L, integral d phi is phi with the limits 0 to 2 pi, so which will be 2 pi d rho integral 0 to L dz, so that will be z with the limit 0 to L, so 2 pi d rho L. So you got rho L is equal to 2 pi d rho L. So L and L gets cancelled. If you keep d rho here, this will be rho L by 2 pi rho. So d rho aero cap. So vector d is only rho component, so I can write d rho aero cap. So it will be rho L by 2 pi rho aero cap, and vector E is what? D by epsilon 0. So that will become rho L by 2 pi epsilon 0 rho aero cap. Okay, is this clear? So we derived the expression for E easily. We need only 3 steps here. Only we should know rho L is equal to curved plus top plus bottom. Top integral is 0, bottom integral is 0 because d dot ds is 0 here, because the direction of d and the direction of ds are perpendicular to each other on the top surface and bottom surface. That is why it is 0. And only curved surface we have integration. So you have to do the integral on the curved surface. So the curved surface, remember this, for a curved surface cylindrical, it is rho d phi dz is the ds come, vector ds is aero cap. This we have discussed once, you just refer your notebook. So substitute that and integrate, find the dot product and integrate. You will get rho L is equal to 2 pi d rho L. From this one, d rho is equal to rho L by 2 pi rho, or vector d is equal to d rho aero cap, or rho L by 2 pi rho aero cap. So from that, electric field intensity is d by epsilon 0. So rho L by 2 pi epsilon 0 rho aero cap. So we derived the expression for E easily compared to the previous method. Okay. So that's all for today's class. So since only 100 members can join, I'm not taking the attendance now. Okay. So that's all. Thank you.